What do you see as the biggest disconnect between how most companies in the data center industry are thinking about go-to-market and how their buyers actually want to buy?
Yeah, well, like you mentioned, I'm in a unique spot. So I serve the JLL global data center clients, and we do everything from fine digital dirt, so site selection over here, to operate facilities. We operate creeping up on 5 gigawatts of facilities for our clients. So I get to see all decisions being made along that value chain, and with the different customer segments. So, and they all think, act, and buy very, very differently. So the hyperscalers obviously are buying at very, very large scale, building facilities to support revenue streams. The enterprise customers are, after 10 or 15 years of people like me telling them to put everything in the cloud, are clearing out their data centers and now may reinvigorate them with the need for on-prem inference infrastructure. And then the colocation folks are somewhere in between and supporting now both realms and struggling with hybridizing existing assets to support both today's 3 to 7 kW cabinets that have been cooking along, cranking out cash for a long time, and preparing for the future where we're seeing a liquid cooled 100 kW plus environment. So very, very interesting. So everyone has a different, it's not, I guess I would say it's not a single go-to-market set of goals, strategies, and tactics. The model I learned at Kellogg, their marketing stuff. Thank you, Professor Chernev. Everyone's got a different set of tools they use in the toolbox and the way they look at the market. And I think generally, if you have to put a layer of disconnect on top of all of it, I would say that the industry, you really got to be in the industry to understand how it works and it functions despite its now amazing size. It's grown a bit, particularly in the last few years. It functions like a very artisanal, idiosyncratic industry based on relationships, because really it comes out of the trades. And in that way, it's more like construction and less like a real estate product. So it's the perspective, the way that you come at the industry, where I think that the disconnect is, and a lot of folks jump into it not understanding how it functions or trying to apply go-to-market strategies from other industries to it. But again, it's very, very different the way it's structured and the pace at which it moves. We are changing tech literally monthly. I'm helping clients redesign bases of design multiple times a year based on what Jensen is saying up on the stage at GTC that month, right? So it moves very, very fast. There's a lot of money in the space, tons of build going on, a service that now everyone, both personally and professionally, needs. Yet it's got its own way of functioning, and you really need to immerse yourself in it before you start to apply, traditional go-to-market strategies. I've seen this in lots of different places and have helped companies like JLL now, Kohler in the past, and others readjust their go-to-market goals, strategies, and tactics to the reality of what works in the industry.
So it sounds like it's not just a very complex segmentation challenge. It's that just when you think you got it right, 3, 6, 9 months later, you have to keep readjusting. You can't put it behind museum glass.
Well, and that's been frankly the fun since end of November 2022 when ChatGPT dropped and the world changed, because AI became real, and I think more importantly, it became monetizable, because Wall Street got very, very interested in the potential. And I think that has been responsible for this push, what JLL calls in its recent data center report, the investment supercycle that we're in right now, which is a multi-trillion-dollar business from a spend perspective over just the next few years. So for maybe 20 years, from the time when I was building and operating for Microsoft, we were really making these boxes in the same way. We learned a lot during the PUE wars. It was incredible to be at Microsoft working with Christian Bellotti during that time when we just uncorked all this innovation to drive facility efficiency way up, drive our PUE way down. We were allowed to do whatever we wanted. We discovered how to do hot and cold and partitioning and all that cool stuff that came out of the mid 2000s, all this great creative destruction. That launched a period of almost 20 years where we really efficiency engineered data centers and started doing them in the same way. Just like there's interesting engineering studies on the design of automobiles. They all start to look exactly the same after a while because they're pursuing the best gas mileage and efficiency in aerodynamics, right? So data center, same thing. Then AI comes along, boom. Not only are we, 10x or logarithmically densifying our critical load, but we need a new way of doing cooling, liquid cooling, which we were scared of forever and didn't want to do. And I de-supported back when migrating from mainframes, the original liquid cooled dense cabinet environment a long time ago, to date myself. We moved towards that and brought all this change in. So we've had this 3-year or so period of awesome creative destruction, throw out the old, bring in the new in the best kind of way. And that has really stirred the pot for an industry that was already growing fast, already very idiosyncratic in how it behaved, a lot of relationship base, a lot of kind of trades, history and legacy. So bring that all together and you have an industry that's thriving, moving very fast, incredibly fun because it's changing monthly. Now chasing processor density, which is, I still can't wrap my head around this, that Jensen did this. The tail is wagging the dog. Clearly today, we've in the data center industry not followed anyone to this degree, any part of the tech value chain. We've designed our own, and suddenly now we're chasing processor densities and basing data center rev bases of design for facilities coming online based on processor roadmaps. It's really incredible. So sorry, that was a lot to synthesize, but lot going on. It's a very different industry. It keeps us on our toes, and specific to go-to-market strategy, it keeps it very fresh, and it really pushes us to be innovative in how we're approaching and addressing both the tech space and how the business works.